games as the visiting team. Steve, the entire season, that's not good.
Well, 8 wins is unacceptable, and it actually tied the Suns with the Kings for the fewest road wins in the entire conference. So, look, this is a young team. They have a lot of learning to do. They've got to add talent. I think the rebuilding project has started, and they're going to get better, but it's still going to take some time.
Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Thank you, guys. Last season, Blake Griffin significantly improved his shooting out to about 15 feet. Working on that shot had been a huge focus for him. He said, quote, "My posture is a lot better, going straight up and down. Every game, guys will come up and be like, 'Shoot it. We see you working on it every day. Shoot it.' Guys," he said, "that gives him confidence, knowing his teammates trust him to make the shot."
He keeps adding layers to his game. Thank you, Doris. And here are the Clippers now. After the missed 3 from Arnold. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Hey, I think we all knew that the Clippers were good last year, but we really took notice when they rattled off those 17 wins in a row in December. That was a franchise record, which had previously been 11, and that's when the league really took notice.
That free throw missing. Well, it was the year of the win streak last season with Miami doing what they did and Denver getting hot as well. But you know, Steve, the Clippers had the first lengthy win streak and turned some heads earlier in the season.
Yeah, what was that, about 17 games in a row they won? And I thought that kind of established the Clippers in the West, put a little fear in the rest of the conference, and gave L.A. a swagger that I thought helped them get through the rest of the season.
And he's good on the second.
You know, it's no secret around the league, guys, that the Suns either have one of the best medical staffs in the game or they've built their practice facility by the fountain of youth. More evidence of that came when Jermaine O'Neal found new tread on his well-worn tire.
Suns keep it alive. The dish to Dragic. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Feeds it to Henry. That's in, coming off an assist from Dragic.
Nice pass. That one was right on target.
Clippers leading by 3. Anderson outside. They set the pick. Here's Powell. Misses the 3. Arnold defended by Anderson. Passes it to Arnold. For the 3. Gets it to go. 9 points in the game so far. Puts up a prayer. The shot is off. And so it's tied as we head to halftime. We'll be back shortly live from Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
It's Wednesday night. We're almost over the hump. This is the 2K Sports Halftime. It's been the Clippers scraping it out. They've been drawing fouls, making their free throws count. That's always a key to success. On the other side, the Suns also putting up numbers. And defensively, they've done a good job grabbing rebounds, limiting second chances. Goran Dragic certainly playing well so far. Nothing comes easy. He's done the hard work, and they could pull it out once they get to the second half. And that'll be all for this episode. It's in the books, and I'm all done reading. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. Have to like what we're seeing so far from Arnold.
He is a dynamic scorer, guys. That much we know. And I'll tell you what, his talent was on full display there in the first half.
Steve, he is a hard man to keep down, and so far, they've been unable to do it.
Here's Felton. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change.
You know, you go through the regular season, guys, and set all sorts of records for your franchise and wins and winning streaks and all that. You win your division for the first time ever, your first 50-win season, and what do you get for it? Bounced in the first round of the playoffs. It's still progress, though, and I think the Clippers will use that for motivation this season.
Here's Collison. The Suns getting the bucket. Off the pick. That's good.
Solid screen right there that freed him up for the jump shot.
Collison against Felton. Felton off the pick from Henry. Here's Carl. And that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton. And the Suns lead by 2. Well, Clark, as you said, the Clippers got up 2-zip on the Grizzlies, but all of a sudden it came to a crashing halt. As Steve, they dropped 4 consecutive games, and just like that, we're out of the postseason.
Yeah, injuries played a part. Blake Griffin sprained his ankle, but I think the Clippers were exposed a little bit too. They're limited offensively on the front line, and maybe not quite enough shooting, but that's why they made the moves in the offseason. And they're looking to pick up and make some improvement in that regard.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Hey guys, well for Doc Rivers, the former Boston Celtics head coach and now new Los Angeles Clippers head coach, and certainly a tough emotional choice for Rivers to move on. His quote saying, "I always knew when I took the job with Boston that I would love the Celtics. I knew I would love the tradition and the players, but I had no idea how much I would fall in love with the city and the people in it. Honestly, I get emotional thinking about it. I will cherish every single moment I had in Boston." And guys, hopefully that love returned by the Beantown faithful.
Well, Doris, that fan passion can cut both ways. Sometimes you have to take the good with the bad. And so he makes both from the line. 1:44 left in the third quarter. Los Angeles calls timeout. Suns making a change here. Collison kicks to Anderson. Griffin. Dishes to Powell. The steal. Some nice ball movement here by the Suns. And that's out of bounds. Phoenix will retain possession. Evans, he's checked in for the Clippers. Just over a minute and a half have passed here in the third quarter. Back to Nance. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Yeah, the referee's all over that one.
No doubt about it. Clearly a foul. Nothing to argue about there.
It's his first trip to the line. That free throw good from Nance. And the Suns making a change here. And good on the second, so he makes them both. There's 1:17 left in the third quarter. Collison, the pass to Jordan. Evans. Pass to Griffin. Working on Nance. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A three-point play chance here. And the Clippers making a switch here.
Well, everybody knows around the league that if you get in Blake Griffin's way when he has a head of steam going, you're going to end up on his poster at some point. So since coming into the league, I think he's become as intimidating a player as we've seen.
I agree. It's just not posterizing people either, Steve, although he does a bunch of that. When he gets a steal and has a free lane to the basket on a breakaway, there's a good chance the crowd's going to see a mini dunk contest from Blake.
Just 5 on the clock.
There we go!
Second chance shot, and it's good on the way in. He has 6.
Boy, he crashed the boards with purpose right there. Well-deserved second chance points for him.
Evans dishes the foul. Outside Griffin. Picked his pocket. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Back to Nance. Kicks it to Felton. The finger roll finish at the bucket. And it's a 7-point Suns lead.
Oh, man, he goes old school on us with the finger roll.
Back to Griffin. And it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. And we've reached the end of the third. Suns lead by 7. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. And a moment now to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Suns.
So far, they've turned in a fantastic performance from the three-point line. It's been a weapon all game.
And then look at the points in the paint, because they're really winning that battle tonight.
Clippers trail by 7. Collison with it. Knocks down the 10-footer. Collison's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Clippers. Here's Carl. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful.
After what was just a horrendous shooting performance in the first half, they finally started to find their stroke.
It's amazing to think they actually have the lead here, Clark, given how poorly they played in the first half. They really didn't shoot well, but you know what? They're starting to stick it out. They're finding their way in this game.
So it's the Clippers now. The Suns getting the bucket. Collison kicks to Griffin. Pocket 4. Trying his luck deep. Here's Jordan. And that's good. A nice job in the glass as they pick up 2 on the second effort.
So the defense just looked a little lazy on the glass there.
Yeah, nobody boxing out. That's inexcusable.
Carl defended by Anderson. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. 2 shots. He drops the first one, and that increases their lead to 6. The Suns making a switch here. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 7-point game.
They're really doing a good job working hard to get inside and draw contact, a little more so than they did in the first half.
Well, to keep a lead like this, they should continue to attack the paint like they have been. Don't settle for jump shots. Find your way to the free throw line.
Collison. The shot misses, and Phoenix will come the other way. Outside, Felton. He feeds it to Henry. We've got 1:23 left here in the fourth quarter. Felton goes in. From 11 feet away. That's good.
They got the lead despite pretty cold shooting from the field in the first half, and now they're beginning to find their groove.
Well, this is a team capable of getting hot, and if they do, they're going to really extend this lead. Obvious foul.
Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
Shooting for Los Angeles, Jordan. 2 shots.
And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to fall. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Tristan Thompson. So neither attempt will fall that time frame.
Now, slight advantage for them in the rebound category. They've got to continue their work on the glass.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, they're on the right side of the ledger, and that is all that matters to them right now with the lead they have.
Carl, he's covered by Collison. Here's Carl. Foul call. Looked like the D didn't get there in time, and he'll shoot free throws.
At the line for six, Carl. Taking 2 shots.
First free throw is good, and that will push the lead to double digits. And the Suns with a completely new group on the floor. So he gets them both. Los Angeles calls timeout. They're down by 11. There's 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Doc Rivers address his team. He said, listen, we've come this far. Now we've got to lay it on the line to get a win. I know we can do it. So show them what you got and let's make it happen. Guys, we'll see if they can do it.
There's 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and that's Evans penetrating, and it's blocked by Dragic. Pass to Arnold. All alone. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
I tell you what, folks, I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Yeah, he got whacked. Shouldn't be much debate on that one.
Yeah, that was as straightforward as it gets, guys.
At the line for 2.
Come on, you can hit this!
He gets the first, and that brings them to within 10. He's off on the free throw, unable to get that second one to drop in. And Phoenix can just let the clock run down here. Evans against Dragic. So it's the Suns winning easily here. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
That about does it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, Doris Burke, and the rest of our great crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying so long and thanks for watching. Now, here's our Jordan player of the game.
the Philadelphia 76ers facing off against the Los Angeles Lakers. And with the game about to get underway, let's head to Kevin, Clark, and Steve, who are courtside at Staples Center.
And both teams going through their pregame rituals, getting loose well before we're underway. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr with Doris Burke on our sideline. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the 76ers. Carter Williams is out there with Dion Waiters. And standing 6'11" out of Kentucky, the explosive shot blocker Nerlens Noel. Locking down the middle. Then it's Evan Turner. And it's Morris in at the power forward. And for the Lakers, Damian Lillard out there at DeRozan. And at the center position, an impressive combination of size and skill. The 7'1" Spaniard, Marc Gasol. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Love in at the 4 spot.
Well, you know, when you play against teams in the West, you need to have a solid front court or you're going to struggle. And last year, the Sixers thought they had the answer with Andrew Bynum, but he never played a game for them, so they really struggled against the West.
And so here we go, the 76ers to start it. Waiters with the ball. Makes the lead pass. Gets the bucket. Noel's got the first points up on the board for the 76ers. And trouble it was for the 76ers against the West, Clark, as you were talking about. They would end up with just a 12-18 record against the conference. And many wondering, Steve, what could have been.
Well, and 12-18 isn't actually that bad considering, you know, the state of the roster with the injuries and the new players. So I thought all in all, the 76ers fought hard most of the year, but they just didn't have enough in the tank.
They get it back. Here's Turner. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Way to play in attack mode and get inside.
And, you know, if you're on defense and you're going to foul, make sure it's a good one. They did, preventing the and one.
You know, last year nobody was quite sure the role Evan Turner would have, but as the season went on, he played his way into the rotation by earning the trust of his coach. I thought he made some good strides in his game.
And Turner, the number 2 overall pick back in 2010. Clark, it seemed NBA stardom awaited, but so far, it just hasn't worked that way.
It's still on the horizon for him. You got to remember now, he's only in his 4th year. He's a terrific ball handler, rebounder, 6'7", can play the point forward position for you. The Sixers traded away Iguodala and handed him the reins, and I think sometimes you can do that prematurely, and it'll be interesting to see how Evan steps into that higher expectation role now.
Now, here's Lillard. Wallace with it. Guarded now by Morris. Love kicks to Lillard. 6 to shoot. Pass to DeRozan. The Lakers need to get a shot off here. Love, no good.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there.
You know, offensively last season, guys, the Lakers just never seemed to be able to get out of their own way. I mean, they had the worst turnover ratio in the league, and they really struggled to take care of the ball. And even when they got up a shot, a lot of them were questionable shots. They shot the 3rd most threes in the league, but were in the bottom half of the league in percentage.
Here's Lillard. Following the basket by Marcus Morris. Leonard kicks to Lillard.
I'll tell you what, for what's really an elementary shot, he looked a little nervous on that release.
The dish now to Carter Williams. 59 seconds left in the first. Noel passes to Waiters. Carter Williams Outside Turner unloads. It's good from about 19 feet. And going back to the Lakers' offensive troubles last season, the worst free throw percentage, Steve, in the NBA.
And obviously that's attributed directly to Dwight Howard, because the Lakers also led the league in free throw attempts. So Howard was getting hacked. He really couldn't get it going. He made about half his free throws for the season. And that just really carried over into the team's performance.
Now here's Waiters after the Marcus Holmes. Waiters. Second chance shot. The rebound by Kevin Love.
Well defended, and he's not someone who responds well to that kind of defensive pressure.
Shot to stop the drought, and it's good off the glass.
Well, they had to take the lid off the hoop, I guess, but they finally get one to go there.
Yeah, a bit of an unsettled start. I mean, maybe that'll get them going.
And so the first quarter is in the books. 76ers ahead, leading by 7. And we'll get things started in the second quarter when we return. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And looking at what we've seen from the 76ers, what do you guys think?
A lot of hard work being put in on the glass. This is a very physical team. They're doing a nice job in the paint.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a good job gang rebounding too, Steve. Everybody's boxing out down there.
Lakers trail by 7.
Well, you look at the Lakers' struggles last season, I think it surprised most of us. You know, some of it was injuries. Part of it was just a lack of production off the bench. Then there was the inconsistency of the coaching and just the number of different people who were on that bench. So, difficult season for the Lakers.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, gentlemen, the Lakers barely squeezed into the playoffs last season. Despite that, they had the largest luxury tax bill in the league, almost $30 million, more than double the next highest team in the Miami Heat. So, maybe one silver lining for them with Dwight Howard deciding to move to Houston? The team won't have to shoulder the even more punitive taxes that began this season. Kevin?
Good point, Doris. Thanks. That free throw from Lee is good. And you look at the struggles of the Lakers bench last season. When injury struck, they didn't have the players really to fill that void.
Yep. You know, Kevin, I think for the Lakers, the bold strokes for the star players have been impressive, but it's the fine details of finding undervalued role players. That's where they've been lacking. Once injuries happen, that was thrown into sharp relief. And really, even when healthy, to win a title, you can't just have a great starting five. We know that. You need another 4 or 5 players you can count on to give you quality minutes.
Rivers kicks to Edwards. Pass to Green. Green left side. The shot no good. Nice D from Dion Waiters. The 76ers leading by 7. Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. And that's Evans penetrating. Feeds it to Waiters. Had the space there, but it's offline.
Nobody anywhere close to him. Where's the defense? He's got to make that shot, though.
This is to Randolph. He passes it to Edwards. Defended by Waiters. Unloads from 13. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A three-point play chance here. Lakers shooting their first free throw of the game right now. Damian Lillard's checked in for the Lakers. And the free throw good from Edwards.
Boy, there were a bunch of problems for Philadelphia last season, and a lot of them stem from the inability to score. Problems on offense typically make it harder for you to defend effectively, but also make it tougher for you on the road, too.
Waiters. Edwards defending. Waiters dishes to Morris. Lowry. The 76ers need to get off a shot. Here's Evans. The Lakers with the rebound. And Clark, to the point you made about the 76ers, scoring was hard enough for them at home. But with 20,000 people booing you and playing on foreign rims, Steve, it got that much tougher for him away from Philadelphia.
Well, let's be honest, Kevin. The whole season went down the drain with Andrew Bynum's injury because the team was going to be built around him. And when you can't throw the ball into the low post and you've given up your athletes on the perimeter, now you have no identity. And I think that was the issue for Philly last year.
Lowry drives in, kicks it out to Evans. He feeds it to Waiters. He dishes it to Lowry. Shot from the top of the key, and it's off the back rim, no good.
Obviously, they're evenly matched teams on the inside. The rebound numbers are very even.
Yeah, I've been impressed with just both teams' energy, just really working hard on the board.
The Lakers had made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line.
At the line for two.
You got these, no problem.
And he knocks down the first one. And the 76ers making a change here. Both good from the line that time.
Boy, that was solid. I tell you, he's one of the best there is up there at the foul line.
7-foot shot. Buried it just in the nick of time.
He sure did, right on cue. Man, was that major drama. He loves those situations, though.
Boy, that was big time. Knew exactly how much time he had left, squared up, and let it fly.
Second quarter ends in a tight one. 76ers lead by 4. We'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
Now, presented by Sprint.
And everything is in place and ready to go on the halftime show for this Wednesday night. The 76ers off to a good start. They're doing well inside, big bodies, big points in the paint advantage. A valuable contribution so far by Evan Turner. Nothing comes easy. He's done the hard work, and they could pull it out once they get to the second half. And on the other hand, the Lakers are still alive. Their bench making its presence felt, putting up big numbers coming in from the Pine. Thanks for tuning in. Now back to the action in Los Angeles.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And now we return to the action here at the Staples Center in the heart of downtown L.A.
Lakers ended up 17-13 against Eastern Conference teams last year, but that wasn't really a dominating effort. Certainly not what you would expect from a playoff team.
Lakers trail by 4. Well, and to make the playoffs in the West, you do need to have a record similar to that of the Lakers against the East. You know, Steve, no team that made the postseason in the West had a record below 500. So the Lakers took care of what they needed to.
Well, you know what's odd, Kevin, is that in the shortened season before, when the Lakers were the cream of the Pacific Division and everything was going well, they only went 500 against the East. So, you know, if they want to bounce back this season, they'll need to not give away games and make sure they keep their out-of-conference record better than 500.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Gentlemen, even though Damian Lillard won last year's Rookie of the Year award, he didn't rest on his laurels. This offseason, he trained with NBA legend Gary Payton, working almost exclusively on his defense. Lillard said it's a responsibility for him to live up to the great Oakland point guards of the past, adding, quote, Jason Kidd, GP, B. Shaw, those guys were great defenders. I want to let people see that in Oakland, we lock people up. That's one of the reasons they get the respect they do. I gotta play to their level. Kevin, big shoes to fill, but he's off to a great start.
He's surprised a lot of people with how well he's done. Thanks, Doris. And so he hits both.
Well, there's a new ownership group in Philadelphia as of 2011, and in this offseason, they pulled the trigger and brought in new leadership in the front office. Looks like they're jumping on the analytics bandwagon, hiring the former brain trust of the Houston Rockets. 3 straight misses here to start the second half.
They set the screen. The pass to Morris. The feed to Waiters. Waiters off a pick for Morris. 6 on the shot clock. Shot is no good. And the Lakers going the other way now. And back to the Sixers. I guess for the Wall Street ownership group, going mathematical is something they were, stay pretty comfortable with.
That's something that a lot of teams are going to now, Kevin. The new owners, a lot of them businessmen, they want to turn to math to try to figure this whole thing out. Bottom line, though, is it's a combination. It's not just stats. It's talent, stats, chemistry, coaching, a lot of things that goes into winning.
Waiters passes to Carter Williams. Kicks it to Morris. Passes to Waiters. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's his first foul. David Lee's checked in for Philadelphia. Here's Evans. Bank shot, no good.
Well, for Kevin Love, guys, last season, in my mind, the most trying of his career. I mean, he broke his hand going into the season, came back, and then broke it again. He ended up playing only 18 games for the season and never really found the rhythm at all.
The 76ers leading by 6. Outside Lowry. Carter Williams kicks to Lowry. Lee is screen on DeRozan. Shot clock at 6. And it's Lowry penetrating. And it's rejected. No good. Good D by Love.
Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Lillard against Lowry. Here's DeRozan, looking for his first basket still in this one. Another miss by DeRozan. Now here's Carter Williams. Three-pointer, Lowry, and released it in time, but it's off the mark. The third quarter comes to a close. 76ers on top. They lead by 6. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return. Thanks for joining us again as we get set for the fourth quarter. A terrific game so far. Here's Carter Williams. He kicks it to Waiters. Now Carter Williams. Pass to Waiters. Shot clock at 5. The baseline jam. It's rebounded by Leonard.
Boy, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
DeRozan, the dish to Lillard. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Well, what I like about him, Kevin, is his ability to shake a defender loose off the dribble and find a high-quality shot for himself. He is a very slippery player.
And here's something else, Steve. He invites contact when he's attacking the rim. He doesn't try to finesse his way through anything. He's going through bodies.
Lillard, no good on the free throw.
They've been strong on the boards. There's no disputing that.
That's what the box score says. Still anybody's game, though.
Now here's Waiters, defended by Lillard. And Turner kicks to Waiters. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. Free throw, good. Waiters. No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2. Lakers trail by 5. Lillard dishes to DeRozan. Charity strike shot. Goes back up. The shot's good from Gasol.
Boy, what a great job making good on the second opportunities. He stayed with that play from start to finish.
Timeout called the 76ers. They're in front by 3. 1:49 left in the fourth quarter. I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. I got a chance to hear what Doug Collins was saying to the team. He told his guys, listen, we've got to make the most of every opportunity right now. We can win this game, but it's all about making every single possession count. Guys, we'll see if they can come back.
.149 left in the fourth quarter. And Waiters kicks to Morris. Pass to Carter Williams. Feeds it to Waiters. Dishes it to Turner. Clock at 6. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. And the 76ers lead by 5.
Drop that one in as soft as a feather using the finger roll.
Lillard, the pass to Gasol. That is good. Gasol's got 4 points this quarter. Big time bucket there, Clark.
And Kevin, the crowd is loving it.
Well, they know exactly how big that shot was.
He feeds it to Waiters. Shoots from 12. And he nails the jumper.
It's been the story of the game for him. Fortunately, his teammates have bailed him out.
Lakers have gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. Lillard dishes to Leonard. Gasol back to Leonard. Lillard attacking. And DeRozan kicks to Lillard. Leonard. Stolen by Waiters. Now the 76ers on the break. And he jams it with authority.
Yeah, they're getting that lead way up there now. I mean, it should be a stroll to the final whistle from here.
Yeah, this late in the game, it'd be almost impossible for them to blow a lead like this.
Here's DeRozan. Some solid defense there from Dion Waiters. The 76ers shooting has been a little ragged, just 38% from the field. Carter Williams off the pick from Morris. And Noel kicks to Waiters. Noel sets a screen for Waiters. Shot clock at 6. Soft touch off the glass. And now a 9-point 76ers lead.
And a terrific run to really put this ball game away.
And now let's see how many more points they can throw up there before the horn sounds.
So the 76ers win it. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. Now let's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Deion Waiters.
Sports. I'm Damon Bruce, glad to have you with us. Wednesday in the NBA. It's going to be the New York Knicks up against the Brooklyn Nets. And that'll do it from the studio. Let's get you out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports broadcast crew at the arena. I'll see you back here at halftime.
Got it on 2K Sports for Wednesday night action in the NBA. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan, joined by Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. A quick check now of the starting lineups for both teams. First for the Knicks. And at the pivot, a terrific defender and all-around player, the Australian sensation, 7-footer, Andrew Bogut. Then there's Beasley, and it's Fareed in at the 4 spot. And looking at the Nets, Bonner is out there with Johnson. And inside out of Stanford University, a skilled post scorer with tremendous size, the 7-footer, Brook Lopez. Then it's Jones, and it's Millsap in at the 4 spot.
You know, it's been a while since the Nets have been one of the feared teams in the East. They had their best season since their days when they would make trips to the finals in the early 2000s. Really an excellent turnaround effort from the entire organization.
It'll be the Nets off the tip. Now here's Johnson. The dish to Bonner. Lopez, a screen on Paul. Jones from outside. They get it back. The feed to Bonner. Pass to Johnson. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Dishes it to Bonner. Second shot opportunity. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play. And for the Nets, who were one of the big turnaround stories from last season, they did it by beating the team, Steve, they were supposed to in the rest of the Eastern Conference. Great record against the East.
Yeah, 36-16 against their Eastern foes, so pretty solid in that regard. You know, they decided early on that the key was they had to get home court advantage in the first round. And they set their goal, and they hit it. Unfortunately, they got knocked off by Chicago in that first round.
Now here's Paul. There's the pass to Beasley. Kicks it to Bogut. He feeds it to Paul. Pass to Beasley. Lets the three fly. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Beasley's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Knicks on defense. About a minute played so far here in the first. Millsap kicks to Johnson. Feeds it to Bonner. He passes to Jones. Johnson right side. A 3-ball. Beasley with the rebound.
You look at the Joe Johnson trade for the Nets. They picked up his max contract from the Hawks, committing $80 million over 4 years. But You know, last season, his lowest point output in over a decade, a down season overall. But hey, there's a lot of talent on this team. He's not expected to score as much anymore.
Now here's Johnson following the shot by Chris Paul. Jones hits for two. It's rebounded by Paul.
Easy look there, but, you know, he misses those once in a while.
It's Beasley on the wing. He dishes it to Childress. Pass to Bogut. Millsap on him. 6 to shoot. It's Beasley on the wing. Rebound, Brooklyn. Lopez has got his 3rd rebound tonight. And for the Nets, they started the season doing some of that isolation offensively for Joe Johnson that we saw in Atlanta, Clark.
And even with the most efficient individual scorers, that's not usually the way to go offensively over the long haul. With Joe going through a bit of a lull in terms of his shooting percentages, I thought they might have been better served to anchor the offense around Brook Lopez inside.
Here is Bonner. Lopez kicks to Johnson. Back to Lopez. Outside, Jones. The dish now to Millsap. Outside, Jones. Again, the miss by Jones. Paul against Jones. Paul goes in. Bogut sets a screen for Paul. In low to Bogut. Hangs in the air. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Bogut's got his first bucket in this one.
One of the sweetest moves in the game, the reverse layup in traffic.
And here's Johnson outside. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Knicks lead by 2. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break. And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far.
You can't be the number 2 seed in the East by being mediocre on the road. I mean, the Knicks had a veteran group, and they all had the mental fortitude and experience to finish off games on the road last season.
The Knicks with the lead. Clark, as you said, the Knicks were one of the tougher teams on the road, and their road record was, you know what, separated them, Steve, from the middle of the pack in the East.
Yeah, 23 road wins, second only to the Heat in the East. It was interesting, Kevin. They relied so heavily on threes that sometimes on the road they'd go cold, but they could also get hot in a hurry, and they were able to avoid a bad spell.
Hits it to go. Johnson's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Nets.
And Kevin, what I like about him is that he tends to get hot at the most opportune times. It doesn't matter if it's coming out of a halftime or out of a timeout. He just has a knack for heating up in a hurry.
And one of his other great qualities, Steve, is his quick trigger off the dribble. I mean, he can get his shot off in an instant, a nanosecond.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Gentlemen, Ben McLemore grew up in poverty in the tough town of Wellston, Missouri, near St. Louis. A tiny house with up to 15 people under one roof. At times, no food, no heat. A single mother working nights to provide. And before senior year, his high school shuttered for good. Basketball was his one escape. He said, quote, "If you say you're from Wellston, they give you that look. It's just the reputation. It's a hard place to live and grow." But he says even now that he's made it out, I'm never going to forget Wellston. I was born and raised there. It's my heart and my pride. I'm going to give back. I want to build it back to how it was. Guys, what an extraordinary story.
An amazing story. And Doris, good thing it had a happy ending. Thank you.
A lot of high hopes for the Knicks in last year's playoffs. They started off so hot, but then let the series against Boston drag on, and eventually went to 7 games, and they fell to the Pacers in the second round after that.
Now here's Jones. Shot off the pick. Rebounded by Norman.
What was the defense doing there? I mean, he is not the guy to give an open look to, and yet they got away with it.
Flynn kicks to Paul. All sorts of time, and the shot is good. And the Boston series did drag on them, you could tell. You wonder if they were a bit fatigued going into that Pacers series. Steve, Indiana just outplayed him, outworked him in every way in the second round.
Yeah, I think it was a factor, Kevin, and really the Knicks have only themselves to blame. They had Boston down 3-1 and a home game to close it out, but they couldn't get it done. And there's no doubt that affected them against Indiana in the next series.
Nets passing it around. Johnson kicks to Jones. They shoot again. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two.
Well, if you don't like contact, then you won't like guarding this guy because he will get after you physically.
Yeah, you got to strap it on tight. Get your mouthpiece in. If you got a headband and knee guards, whatever you wear to protect yourself, you need to get ready for that with him. I mean, he's going to lean on you. He's going to bump you. There's no way to get around it. It's going to be physical with him.
And the first one at the line is good.
Well, you know, it's still exciting to come here to the Barclays Center, this beautiful new arena, and you really like the fact that it's built to showcase basketball. Terrific sight lines, everything the fans could ask for.
Both free throws good for Irving. He talked about the allure of the new arena. Steve, even when teams are staying in the same city so often, a push is there for a new arena.
Yeah, that's the reality of the business. It's all about entertainment. It's about being cool. It's about kind of the brand, and I think that's where Brooklyn really made that huge jump last year. It was just the uniforms and the arena and the fan base and being in Brooklyn. It all came together, and now it feels like a world-class organization.
Brooklyn with the ball after the miss from Jefferson. Backing him down is Johnson. Lock at 6. Bosh. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Guys, now with the Nets and the Knicks both playing in New York, it's just added to the rivalry that was already pretty strong to start with. But it's interesting. If you're from Brooklyn and you grew up rooting for the Knicks, who do you cheer for now? It's probably divided some households. A lot of rivalries in families alone. It should be interesting as this team takes further root in Brooklyn.
And back to this Knicks-Nets rivalry. The Knicks, Clark, are considered the more established dominant team, but over the last decade, the Nets actually had the better winning percentage, and that might come as a surprise to some. They've beaten the Knicks when you look at games head-to-head, and Clark have had more playoff success.
Yeah, when you crunch the numbers, clearly the Nets are considered the upstarts, but the fact remains, over the last decade, as you said, Kevin, they've been the better team, and I think whoever you root for, with both of them playing at a high level, it's a great time to be a hoop fan in New York.
Well said, it is. Now here is Jack. Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Back to Paul. Outside Jack. He kicks it to Paul. Hogan. Bosh grabs the miss. Here's Bonner. What a play! Simply brings it in at the buzzer.
Big bonus for them to end the quarter as he beats the buzzer.
Talk about maximizing every last possession you've got. Right there, it was done.
And the first half ends in a close one. It's the Nets up by 1. And it's time now for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. We'll be back shortly to get the second half underway.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Tipping off your halftime show, I'm Damon Bruce, and a close one is underway in Brooklyn. The Nets are making every effort to win it, and defensively, they've done a good job grabbing rebounds, limiting second chances. Looking at New York, they're definitely making plays as well. Their great passing has been fun to watch, keeping the ball moving and picking apart that D. Some great work out there by Michael Beasley. No big numbers by his name in the box score, but he's doing the little things out there to try and get his team the win. Now let's get back over to Kevin Harlan and the rest of our crew as the second half gets underway.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back to New York City, the bright beacon of the Statue of Liberty, lighting up the harbor.
Well, for so long, the Knicks have been the punchline of the Eastern Conference the last decade. Poorly managed contracts and questionable trades really kept them from rising to the top in the East, but once again now they look like a powerhouse.
New York trailing. And Clark, you were right. The Knicks were a powerhouse last season. Steve, 37 wins against the rest of the conference, and they just would dominate other teams at times.
Well, they're a team that doesn't really want to run a lot or force tempo. They just kind of want to get you in the half court. They don't turn the ball over, and they bury you from long range. So they found their identity last year and really dominated in that Eastern Conference.
Here is Bonner. He has 5, and it's Johnson penetrating. Excellent D there from Beasley. Now Childress. Pass to Paul. And there's the feed to Childress. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, for a long time, the Knicks were viewed as a young team on the rise, but when they added Rasheed Wallace last year, the average age went to 32, which was the oldest team in the league last season. And you saw it in their play. They were a group of veterans out there.
First one falls for him. And for the Knicks, the veteran leadership helped them at times as they had to go through some very tough stretches, Steve, due to injury.
Yeah, they did go through some stretches, but they really did well to secure the division title and get that high seed going into the playoffs. They had a pretty decent run all in all, but this is a team that has higher aspirations than just getting to the conference semis.
A big change for the Nets, who stormed up the leaderboard in the East and even had a chance of taking a very tough Atlantic division last season. They actually were in the picture for the title until the end.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, gentlemen, as you know, Jason Kidd has always been perceptive. And when he retired from playing, he said his thought process went like this. All right, let's take a look at your resume, Jason. You have no financial background. You have basketball. That's what you have for your whole life. So next was going to be basketball. And once he and his agent started to explore the opportunities, the coaching position with the Nets emerged. And Kidd said things moved to, quote, warp speed after that. Kevin, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, good situation for him. Thanks, Doris. Here in this third quarter, just over a minute play. And the Nets' first goal going forward this year is to make that jump into the best team in New York and the rest of the division. Steve, a lot of strong teams in the Atlantic, but they do well against them.
Yeah, last year they had the best interdivision record than anybody in the Atlantic. So, if you can take care of business within your division, it always puts you in a good position down the stretch.
Now Millsap, following Chris Paul's three-point attempt. Millsap dishes to Johnson. On the wing, Jones. That's in there. Johnson with the assist. Jones has got 6 points.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Paul outside. Dishes it to Childress. And he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws. He'll take his third and fourth free throw shots of the game right here. And that one falls for Childress. The Knicks making a switch here. And Childress drops 2. And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Bonner kicks to Johnson. Defended by Jack. Passes it to Bonner. Back to Johnson. Nets passing it around. That's good. Jones has got 9 points now in the quarter.
Well, he found the perfect spot behind the arc there. Big gap in the defense.
Jack passes to Paul. Bogut back up on top. Jack defended by Jones. There's the 3. And it's Paul missing.
Oh, they're now +5 in the rebound category, really controlling the glass.
And rebounding is one of those non-glamour stats. I mean, it takes work and effort and tenacity and physicality. But when you look at the scoreboard, you can see the correlation.
That's good.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's keyed this run, Clark, because they're keeping the ball moving. Defense hasn't been able to set up.
And the dunk by Fareed.
Maybe that'll ignite them. I mean, impossible not to get pumped up after that. At least I think that would be the case.
Well, you can see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are. Look at them. They are pumped up.
Yeah, they're geeked.
That's what those alley-oops do, though.
From deep, Johnson got it off in time, but it's no good. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Nets lead by 6. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Nets.
So far, they've turned in a fantastic performance from the three-point line. It's been a weapon all game.
And that's helped with their passing game, too, because they're getting a lot of assists by sharing the ball and moving it.
Nets leading by 6. Here is Bonner. Jones drives in. Here's Millsap, and that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Millsap's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Nets. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Childress, and right through it goes. The Nets shooting around 40% from the floor here.
I got him.
Bonner dishes to Johnson. Kicks to Bonner. He feeds it to Hamilton. Shot clock at 6. Nice touch on the shot from close range. And the Nets lead by 8.
After what was just a horrendous shooting performance in the first half, they finally started to find their stroke.
It's amazing to think they actually have the lead here, Clark, given how poorly they played in the first half. They really didn't shoot well, but you know what? They're starting to stick it out. They're finding their way in this game.
Timeout called, the Nets. They're in front by 6. 1:58 left to play in the final quarter. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what the Nets coach was going over with his team. He laid one thing out there for them, saying, now is the time to eliminate any chance of a mistake. We've got a good lead. Don't take any unnecessary risks or commit a silly foul. Smart basketball from here on out.
All right, Doris. We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Bonner kicks to Johnson. Now the pass to Bonner. Right side, Jones. Into Johnson. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Obvious foul. Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
2 shots.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're behind by 8. 1:44 left in the fourth quarter. Feeds it to Bogut. In low to Fareed. And the layup falls.
It takes a lot of skill and agility to lay it in with the defense right on you. That's a terrific finish.
Nets leading by 6. And it's out of bounds. The Knicks will take it the other way.
Boy, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
About a minute and a half into the fourth quarter now. Childress, the pass to Paul. Beasley outside. Back to Paul. Paul gets a screen from Beasley. Paul dishes to Beasley. From outside the arc. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Bonner kicks to Johnson. Johnson off the pick from Lopez. He dishes it to Jones. Shoots the 3. That one goes. Count. And the Nets lead by 6.
He wasn't able to get his name in the score sheet in the first half. But he looks like he's starting to find his comfort zone here.
Bogut backing him down. And a foul thrown on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Yeah, the defender draped all over him.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there.
And the first of 2, no good. Heartbreaker. Get the second one, and that brings them within 5.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he'd have liked. They need all their free throws to go down at this point.
Lopez backs in. There's the dish to Bonner. Nets passing it around. Jones with it. Guarded now by Michael Beasley. Johnson, good.
Every point they get now puts them one step closer to the W.
If they're not there already, Steve, just a tremendous all-around game of basketball they play.
Now here's Beasley. Pass to Paul. Fires from 14. And again, it's the Knicks missing.
No breathing room at all to take that shot.
Clark, and they can just let the clock run out here.
No argument with that W.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Johnson gets the bucket.
And they're not finished yet. They're going to make sure about this win.
Yeah, that's how you close out a game, Steve.
Paul goes in. Lets it go with a 3. And it's Beasley that time, and the assist by Paul.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
And that's an intentional foul.
At the line for 2.
Gets the first, that makes it a 7-point lead. And a new group in for the Knicks. So he gets them both, and it's an 8-point game. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're losing by 8. 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Guys, what's your take?
Well, never say never, I guess. They just have no quitting.
Yeah, I think you have to respect that attitude and approach. I know most teams would have called it a game already.
in the final quarter of play here, 3 minutes in. And so it's Brooklyn with the win. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
That about does it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr,